Welcome everyone to our discussion today. My name is Christy Ament and I am the Director of Customer Success for our Oracle products here at Redwood. I'm joined today by my two colleagues, Kevin Buonocore, the Senior Vice President of Oracle Delivery, and Tom Meisinger, the Oracle Quality Lead here at Redwood. And we're here to talk about some of the insights and takeaways that the Redwood team got from the OTM User Conference last week. To kick us off, I'm going to pass it over to Tom to talk a little bit about the conference, why customers join, and a little bit about his involvement in the conference this year.
Thanks, Christy. The OTM User Conference is planned by the OTM SIG board, which I was elected to in January 2024. SIG is the special interest group, and the OTM SIG board is comprised mainly of OTM and GTM users, plus a few implementation partners like Redwood. And I would say the highlights of the OTM User Conference are Oracle product strategy updates from logistics leadership, 20 plus customer presentations, both functional and technical, and demos from Oracle's solution engineering team. We also host a few evening team building events as well. We've held the conference in Philadelphia the past 15 years or so, and fortunately, we've outgrown the venue. This year, we had close to 500 attendees, and next year, we're trying something new and moving the conference to a larger venue in Minneapolis. So I'm excited to be part of the OTM SIG board now during this transition phase, and I'm also excited to hear feedback on last week's conference. So, Kevin, what was one of the trends you heard last week?
Yeah, I think one of the trends I definitely saw was around ESG and sustainability, right? I mean, it's such a big buzzword out there for companies, and companies are feeling an increased need to calculate and track carbon emissions. Oracle has already introduced emissions calculations across shipments at OTM, and this allows users to see both planned and actual emissions data right at their fingertips while they're looking at their shipment data. And on top of that, they can report against this data and use analytics to drive future decisions. I also found it interesting when they talked about the future and being able to use this in the planning process. Currently in OTM, you can apply weighted costs based on emissions to help choose the most sustainable shipping practice. In the past, when a user was analyzing carrier mode changes, they looked at service time, customer delivery requirements, and of course, cost. But in the future, it looks like we'll be able to have the opportunity to have carbon emissions right at their fingertips and say, hey, if I make this change to a carrier or switch to this mode, what is my ESG impact here? And how can I utilize that to make the best transportation decision? Tom, I know you mentioned AI and machine learning is an interesting trend you saw from the conference. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, thanks, Kevin. I mean, it's no surprise. AI was mentioned multiple times throughout the event, including the topic of a few jokes like Moon Logic AI. And I'd say the trend I noticed the most was, again, like customers asking about OTM's new feature, embedded machine learning. Oracle mentioned this on the first day during their product strategy update. And the first round of cloud customers received this feature this weekend, actually, in 24C. And Oracle's had machine learning for predictive ETAs in the OTM cloud version for a couple of years now, but it required an additional license to make an external, call it an external system. And now it's part of the OTM cloud-based version. So users can configure machine learning for predictive ETAs. And then plus now they have order route prediction too. So Oracle also talked about how they want to add to this in the future and have order route prediction within shipment planning. So I started my OTM journey over 10 years ago as a transportation planner, and I would have loved that feature back then. And as an Oracle implementation partner, Redwood gets the cloud upgrades early. So I've played around with this new feature. Just one recommendation is just make sure you include enough data for the tool to run predictions. But I bet money we see at least one customer or partner presentation on embedded machine learning at next year's conference. Christy, what were some of the trends that you heard last week?
Yeah, I think one of the trends that I've seen across the SIG conference from years past as well is from customer presentations as well as some of the Oracle demos that are presented is the trend around OTM being able to be used to handle some of the flexibility and use cases that customers present as part of requirements with some of their projects. And it seems like OTM has a lot of like out of the box technology and actions and things like that to be able to get customers up and running with both OTM and GTM, but they also have this flexibility to add in use cases as we go throughout projects. So Kevin, as our Senior Vice President of our Oracle delivery team, you work with a lot of customers through the implementation projects and enhancements. I'm curious how you've seen this OTM flexibility be part of our projects with our customers today.
Yeah, thanks, Christy. I mean, from the implementation standpoint, having this flexibility is essential to our teams being able to work with customers, really to capture all their data that's needed and be efficient in using OTM and running, the logistics process through a TMS. Just like you said, being able to account for those scenarios and having the data in there, definitely helps us out there. Oracle over the last several releases has made it a point to increase the functionality of the enhanced workbenches. And these really provide our teams with the ability to focus on workbenches as a way for customers to see all the data they need in a single screen. I talked about efficiency before. This is the big benefit where users don't have to jump around from screen to screen to see things like order details on shipments or how many of a particular item are on my shipment. And Oracle continues to add flex fields to different elements, which allows our teams to continue to get the data in key areas that it needs to be. It's greatly reduced the amount of time in copying data from one place to another through workflow. The automation agents are kind of the thing that ties everything together, and we see a continued push from Oracle to push out new actions and functionality through these agents that allows our teams to seamlessly build workflow that drives customer processes in OTM and handle these complex scenarios that you mentioned. Overall, the push for additional functionality or flexibility puts our implementation teams in a position where everything is configurable for our customers' needs and allows us to deliver successful implementations of Oracle OTM and GTM. Christy, I'll send it over to you to kind of wrap us up here.
Thanks. And the other thing I want to mention about the OTM SIG conference that kind of makes it unique is it's a very customer-focused event. As Tom mentioned, the customers are part of the planning process, and they're also part of that optimization kind of year-round. And there are a couple different forums that customers can stay involved with the community even after the SIG. One of them was mentioned by the Oracle team, is called the Oracle Customer Community has an Idea Lab, where they mentioned that about 40% of the features that go into the OTM GTM releases actually come from the customer ideas that are submitted through that forum. And other customers have the ability to vote on what they like and what they want kind of pushed up into those upgrades. So it's a great way to stay connected with the community and get some of the features that may not be there today involved in the system. Another way that customers can stay connected is by joining the Oracle Application Technology User Group for the OTM and GTM specialty. Over the year, there's forums where customers can pose questions to each other, talk with each other, get ideas, as well as be able to see some quarterly webinars like we saw at the conference. Customers give their presentation on their Oracle journeys, and they also kind of do that throughout the year through these customer forums. So it's a really great way to see how customers are getting value and impact out of the product and sharing that with their fellow users in the community. So before we wrap it up, I just wanted to put a final thank you to our Redwood customers, the Toro Company, Chemtree, TTX, and Harbison Walker, who presented their OTM journeys at the conference this year. And we hope you enjoyed our discussion of the takeaways today. Some of the things we didn't get a chance to touch on today. We have a one-pager that's going to be in the comments that you can kind of take a look at how to join these customer communities and how to look into some of the topics that we discussed today. So thanks everybody for your time, and we hope to see you next time.